Welcome to Consulting Corner. I'm Brooke Perrone, agency bookkeeper.
And I'm Buffy Johnson, agency consultant.
Today, we'll be reviewing how to create a GL budget in Epic. Some agencies have asked us, why do a budget?
Budgets are a great analytical tool for agencies to be able to make sure that they stay on track with their income and expenses throughout the year.
Thank you, Buffy. That is great information. So if your agency wants to create a budget in Epic, on your home screen, go to General Ledger, Budgets, GL Budgeting. And you're going to hit this plus sign. And going to create your description for your budget. And we want to create a budget for 2024. So we'll call it 2024 budget. And the next step is you have 4 different options to create your budget. We're going to do existing amounts. And what that is the actual numbers from your income statement from whatever time period you choose. We're going to do the actual amounts from 2023 to create our 2024 budget. You could use an existing budget, meaning if you had a budget in Epic already, you can work off of that one to build your new budget. There is an import file you could fill out to bring in your new budget, or you can enter it manually. Each GL account code, and you would put in your budget either monthly, quarterly, or annual, and it would break it out into monthly numbers. So we're going to go ahead and do our existing amounts, our date range. We want to use our 2023 income statement numbers, and we want to make a budget for 2024. So our agency, looking at our criteria here, we want to select the insurance services agency, and then account type. So you don't want to see assets, liability, or equity. You only want to see income and expense. And then once you hit detail, it's going to pull in all of those numbers, and then we can start creating our budget for 2024.
And now you can see, since Brooke created the 2024 budget, now on the screen, you see the 2024 budget. And because we used existing amounts, it copied your actuals from 2023 by month to your 2024 budget as a baseline, somewhere to start. Now from here, you've got several options. You can increase the budget across the board by a certain percent. So if you do actions, apply global increase or decrease, you can go here and select. You can do type all. So that way it would do an increase or decrease across all GL accounts, balance sheet, and income statement. You could do it by group, which would be how your groups are organized in your chart of accounts, or you could go in and keep it as they were for actuals from 23 and go GL account one at a time and change each one individually. But the way that we have always done it is we just do it by type and then all, and you can do a global increase for all by percent. And let's just say we feel like that our GL accounts, our income and expense items will go up 3% next year. So you would put in 3 and click finish. And here it will change your numbers and increase everything by 3%.
Now that Buffy has applied the global increase of 3% across the board, you can go in and change individual accounts if you wanted to budget for more than what the 3% increased it to. For example, bonus income. We know that we're expecting, say, $50,000 this year of bonus income, and we're expecting that $50,000 in February. You can change that amount to $50,000, and you can change the month, February. If you have added a chart of accounts, a new GL in your chart of accounts since last year, and it's not included on this list, you can add it. Let's say you just hit the plus sign, and then add in your account. We'll do advertising. And let's budget for 15,000. If you have the yearly radio dial checked, put 15,000 in here and tab out. It will pre-fill each month. So you're budgeting for 1250 monthly.
So now that Brooke has made some adjustments and some additions to our 2024 budget, and we have met with management and management signs off on it and they agree this was like a great budget for our 2024. So now it is final. So you just basically will close your budget out and then it's going to be sitting out there for you to be able to pick up and start using in reports. All right, so move ahead to 2024, middle of the year. We've just finished June accounting month, and we are ready to run our income statement for June. And we are wanting to be able to run an income statement that shows our month actual and our year-to-date actual, but have columns added for the budget amount for month and budget amount for year-to-date. So in reports, you will go to, if you've not added one before, in general ledger, you have income statement comparisons. So you will want to copy that to my reports. And I have done that in our demo database. And here's the one that I created. I called it income statement, actual versus budget, month and year to date. So I'm going to open it up. And here you want to make sure you select the correct layout. So for layouts, you want to say yes to the version that's one comparison with variances. This will show your month and month actual versus your budget month and your year-to-date actual versus your budget year-to-date. So let's run that report. And here it is. So you can see here, there's a lot more on this page than you usually see with an income statement, but you have your actual column for your June actual month, your June budget amount, and you have a variance column. And then you also have your year-to-dates. You have your actual year-to-date versus your budget year-to-date with your variance. You also have some percentages in here that will show the percent of income. So like, for example, your commercial lines here for your month, we only have 4,843, and so that's the total for the month. So that's why that is at 100%. This is comparing your breakdown versus your total. And say throughout the year, you realize that some of these budgeted amounts that you budgeted for really are going to change, but it's because of unexpected expenses or unexpected revenue. And now you're wanting to essentially create a forecast. So you could have your actual, you could have your original budget, and now you can have a forecasted amount. So what you would do with that is you will go back to your home general ledger budgets, and now you can add a new budget. And you want to call this one 2024 forecast. And you want to create it from an existing budget. So you can take what you budgeted and you want to change that now to be your 2024 budget is now going to turn into another budget, but we're going to call it the 2024 forecast. And then once you create that, now you have a forecast. So if you want to go in and say, okay, well, we are going to have a new expense that we did not anticipate before with our advertising, we feel like, you know what, we're going to do some billboards this year. So we are going to add some expenses to that starting in July. So here you can go to your monthly and say, instead of it being $1,250 a month, we're now going to start spending $3,000 a month. So you would go in and change your July to 3,000, and then you would just change the rest of your months as well for the rest of the year. And you can do this for other GL accounts. You could do this for income accounts. You could do it for other expense categories. You could just do it like as a one-time expense that you could put in another category. So you can click finish. And now you have your forecast with some updated numbers in it. And if you wanted to now run your income statement showing your actual versus your budget, and now you want to bring in a forecast because your budget has kind of changed a little bit, then you would want to go back to your income statement, the comparisons version. And now you want to do two comparisons with variances, where you're comparing one set of figures to two others. And then when you do that, it'll bring in, you select that forecast amount, and now you're going to have three. It could be a big screen, but you could adjust it accordingly to modify it the way that you want to see it, and just change it that way. So if you would like to run your income statement showing all three, your actual, your budget, and now your new forecast, you will need to go into your layouts and make some changes. You will need to go to your original one that was actual versus budget. You want to uncheck print. You want to go to the next one down. That is a summary report that compares one set of figures to two others, which will be your actual versus your budget and your forecast. You want to select on that one, and then it'll say yes, and now you're ready to run that other report.
We hope this general overview of how to create a budget in Epic has been helpful. Should you need further help with creating a budget or any other Epic accounting assistance, please email us at consult@kitetechgroup.com and we would love to help.